Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Every Day is a New Day show and coaching channel here on YouTube. My name is Kim O'Neill. I'm a transformational confidence coach, helping you develop an inner sense of confidence from the inside out, which so often, but not always, involves some form of a healing journey. Because as we go deeper and deeper, we realize that there was something inside that somehow maybe threw you off course and led you to forgetting who you are, to not feeling as confident. And so that is what I help you out with. And I am so excited because today we are on week 8 of my 11-week Self-Love Looks Like series. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my notes really quick here. If this is your first time joining me, I want you to know that it is my mission for as many people as possible, and you as well, to feel as whole as possible from the inside out. You are not fit. You don't need to be fixed. You are not broken. You are not unwhole. And yet you may know what it feels like to feel broken, needing to be fixed, or unwhole. And I feel like I kind of repeated myself there. Anyway, so my mission is really to support you in getting to that place where you feel whole from the inside out. Because you're amazing and you deserve that. And it's possible. It's always possible. Everything is possible. And so, as today marks week 8 in my Self-Love Looks Like series, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to really support you in gaining clarity on what self-love looks like for you. Because what it looks like for you may not entirely look like for the same for me, and vice versa, right? So today, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And this is really to support you in getting clarity on that, because how can you expect yourself to really embody a self-love mindset and behaviors if you don't know what it looks like for yourself, right? It can be easy to say, yes, I love myself, and yet still not really know how you do that, right? How you do that for yourself. So, and while I find these to be quite universal, again, some may resonate and some may not. So let's do a quick recap, and I'm just going to acknowledge it's a little warm in here because the heater's been on. So I apologize. I'm like feeling the heat. Okay, let's do a quick recap because we're on week 8, and these all build up with each other. And yet again, some may resonate, some may not, right? For you. So number 1, self-love looks like, this was 8 weeks ago, right? We did self-love looks like accepting all of who you are. Week 2 was self-love looks like feeling into your personal value. That's really getting into that feeling space of feeling it. And you start to begin to feel more whole internally, viscerally in you. That's what I'm talking about. Number 3 was self-love looks like prioritizing and acting on your needs first and foremost. Number 4 was self-love looks like knowing and honoring your boundaries. 5 was speaking kindly to yourself, all that inner dialogue that you have going on. Number 6 was self-love looks like standing up for yourself. Number 7 was self-love looks like speaking your truth. So no longer, not just internally, but what you share externally as well. And today, number 8, and I'm going to be honest, as I kind of threw up an 8 earlier before I recorded, I did the 7. So I had to make sure, wait, am I doing 8? I'm doing 8. Self-love looks like allowing yourself to heal. Okay, now, this conversation, this is about valuing and prioritizing your own well-being over the familiarity and momentum of being in a state of recurring emotional trauma. Re-injuring yourself by never healing is not a self-loving act. Now, let me just also say, because there's so many things I could add into this conversation, the rate at which you heal is going to be different from the rate at which I heal, or someone else heals, and the next person, this person, this one, all right? So I do not believe in a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter approach that everyone's going to heal on the same timeline at the same rate and have, the same aspects of their healing process that may take longer versus slower. So to me, none of this is cookie-cutter. I just want to be clear on that, okay? And by no means am I saying to get over it. No, I am so not saying that. And I'm also not saying that healing is simple, okay? It can be simple because personally, I believe everything is possible, right? So why would we want to limit ourselves to that possibility? Why would we want to close that door to it being easy, right? Like, wouldn't that be so amazing if you're like, you've been dealing with something for 20 years and you finally decide to say, I'm ready to heal, and poof, it's gone, right? Like, that is totally possible. And sometimes things happen in a flip, with a flip of the switch in our minds and things like that. And sometimes things take a lot longer because there can be layers to healing from what you're going through. Now, okay, I'm going to try not to censor myself too much because I have so many different things that I could say as I can, people can get so attached to whatever it is that hurt them, right? Can you think of something in your life that really stuck with you for a very long time? I can. I know I can. And there's nothing wrong with that. So again, we are not shaming any aspect of this process, okay? We're simply identifying variations in common experiences in healing. That's what I'm doing here today, okay? And so everyone's going to move at their own pace in their healing process, at their own rate. It's all acceptable. But the key is to remember that you do have a say in how your healing process goes. And that's what this is about. This is about, reconnecting to your own power within your ability and your capacity to heal. Because when you heal, then you're able to move forward. Well, might be moving forward at all, right? Or it might just be moving forward a lot quicker than you have been. Rather than taking baby steps forward, once you feel more healed, you may be able to now leap forward, right? Take much larger steps in the direction that you would rather desire to be. So you get to choose. You get to choose when is the right time to release whatever hurt you, whatever residual pain, emotional upset, all of that energy of that you have inside you. You get to decide when is the right time. You get to decide what you think about or what you choose to start thinking more about in relation to your situation and healing and what that brings up for you. You also get to choose what you do, right? So what actions can you take that would be different, that support you in healing versus actions that were maybe keeping you stuck in some sort of a holding pattern. You also get to choose, who your support system is and where who and what is really going to be a solid foundation for you as you are in the process of clearing out what's been a rocky foundation inside for you. Now, as I'm saying this isn't in my notes, but as I'm saying this, you may not even really realize that you have something to heal from. And so this could go in so many millions of directions. If you don't have something to heal from, don't create something to heal from, okay? And yet, you may be like, what? I went through that thing, 5 years ago, but what? No, I'm fine. And yet maybe you're drawn to the conversation for some reason, right? Maybe you're like, what is she going to say? Does she have something that's going to, maybe you have kind of like a niggling feeling that maybe there's something lingering in your situation that you're ready to be done with. So I guess that really comes up because Well, let's move on. Let's move on. I think we're actually going to make our way back to that. So, why are we taking a look at healing in the context of self-love? I really want to make that connection right now. Why are we looking at healing in the context of self-love? Because it's not uncommon. This kind of relates to the point I was getting to. So, because it's not uncommon to have something that's happened somewhere along your life journey that may have thrown you such a curveball that rather than really heal and properly move beyond the situation and the feelings that were created within you, you may have instead just built up a wall around yourself to try and protect yourself from ever experiencing that kind of hurt again. And as a result, you may have unknowingly closed yourself off, close your heart from receiving and possibly even giving love. And this can apply to any and all relationships or situations, not just romantic. And you would not be the first to react in that way, right? That's why I say this is common, right? You'd not be the first to react in that way. And what a beautiful thing that you may innately know how to protect yourself, right? And be able to stop a situation from continuing on, from someone who'd been hurting you and you didn't see it coming, or maybe it's been happening for a very long time, and now you finally realize what's happening and say, that's it, I'm going to take a stand for myself, and this is no longer happening. Right? So there's nothing wrong necessarily with that. And yet, if you can identify that that's been your response or reaction somewhere down the line, and then you subsequently realize that in some shape or form, maybe now you are sabotaging new relationships, maybe new experiences or opportunities, because you are still in protection mode, still in reaction mode from that time you were hurt, that time when, right? And yet you can also identify, that's the past. Oh, am I operating from my past in a healthy way or an unhealthy way? Again, all of these are things to really explore in the context of your situation, okay? So I'm probably going to repeat that a few times because there may be pieces here that apply to one person, not to other. Anyway, so now for some of you, again, this conversation may not apply at all. While others, it may be literally the one key conversation, especially in this whole self-love 11-week series that I'm doing. This may be the one thing to finally allowing yourself to receive more of your own love. To finally, getting out of your own way. Allowing your subconscious to finally say, oh, wait, I see what you've been doing. And the conscious you no longer chooses to do that. So whatever your situation, you are not wrong for doing what you could to protect yourself from feeling more pain or hurt, whether it be during or after something painful. But now let's talk about choosing to allow yourself to heal. Allowing yourself to heal is a choice. You may think that it's something that just happens by default, right? There's the common phrase, time heals all wounds. And certainly it can. Certainly healing can take place in the context of time, but it's not necessarily that time itself is going to heal you, right? So, and you may, once you even look at that, you may go, yeah, that's right. I don't actually believe that time heals my wounds, right? So I just want to point out even that part, because that can be a disempowering statement to say that time heals all wounds. If we don't realize that we actually have a choice in that too. We have a choice about what we do in that time. What are we doing to impact our healing, to allow ourselves to grow forward through and beyond the healing journey? I personally believe, that it's a conscious decision, and the sooner you allow yourself to really step into that knowing of that, that's really going to lead you to greater empowerment, allow your healing process to take place much quicker, and all of that. So ignoring what you experienced and really taking more of a disempowering approach to your healing. Ignoring what you experienced isn't allowing yourself to heal. If something deeply impacted you, maybe shocked you even, you don't really get to easily bypass the healing process by denying it affected you. Now, again, you get to go at your own pace, okay? So in no means am I rushing you, but if you're here for a reason. So we may think that we get to bypass something, declare that something didn't impact us when it did. And if that's the case, somewhere down the line, it's going to show up again in your life. It's going to resurface. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Right? I'm speaking from personal experience, by the way, too. Okay. So you may be able to go a very long time in your life without ever fully looking at how a certain situation hurt you. But the longer you go without healing those unresolved emotions, it's going to seep out in other ways in your life. Other relationships might unintentionally become sabotaged because you're operating again from that rocky place within you of unresolved hurt versus operating from a place of having a clear, healed inner foundation. And I just want to backtrack a little bit here. I believe everything is possible. So, do I think you can go through something that is traumatic and deeply painful and quickly move away from it, like already stepping into your healing process, maybe to some effect seeming to be unscathed? Potentially, especially depending on what coping mechanisms you've already developed within yourself, especially depending on what truths and beliefs you have about yourself, about the possibilities of healing, about energy, about the world, about, a higher purpose, about like all these other subjects. Absolutely. I believe everything's possible. So I just want to say that too. But a lot of times we have these experiences that are so jarring, and they're so jarring because there's a lesson, there's a message, there's a deeper meaning within it that's there for us to uncover. So for the person that's already developed, certain beliefs and coping mechanisms, they may experience something that can be really painful, but maybe not nearly as jarring or traumatic because they've already developed certain beliefs and coping mechanisms and all of that, right? To support them to move through something much quicker. And so I could go on and on about this. So I now want to just talk about the aspect of there not being a one size fits all approach. And yet, just like so many other things, healing can have similar components to it. And so I really want to look at this from two different types of approaches. So as a certified law of attraction coach, that's just one of my coaching certifications, I am able to see healing through the lens of energy and law of attraction. And it's a very simplistic approach. Now, mind you, I am not saying healing is simple. I'm talking about the approach being simple, the approach to healing being simple. So if we look at it simplistically, how to heal, the law of attraction approach would look something like choosing to increase the emotions and energy that you desire to feel. Choose to look like solely focusing on where you're headed and, finding a way to be present and yet also have your vision moving forward. So that the more energy you spend in that direction, that becomes your dominant vibration, right? So if we look at, okay, I've been in this hurt place that's maybe been, hurt feelings, sadness, anger, fear, grief, all of that those are lower vibrations. Just simply talking about frequency, okay? Frequency and vibration. Those are a lower vibration versus everything that feels good, love, bliss, joy. Those are very high vibration emotions. And so when you're spending more time on a higher vibration, right? So you've got a momentum right here in the lower vibration place. And now you start to focus your energy and attention on higher vibration emotions. Eventually, you gain more momentum with this, and this becomes your dominant vibration. And eventually is going to, by default, support you in just naturally releasing the energy of what no longer serves you. Okay? Simplistic approach. That's what I'm talking about. Is that possible? Absolutely. Everything's possible. And yet, maybe way too big of a leap. If you've got so much momentum already going in one direction where you can't stop thinking about, what hurt you and the situation and just everything that it brought up for you, and right, maybe you ruminate and go over things in your head and keep processing things, and right, or processing things in the sense of just kind of replaying out the scenario, possibly re-injuring yourself as well because you are continuing to replay it out within your body, within your mind, within your system, staying in that energy of what doesn't feel good, of what hurt, what felt traumatic. Okay, if you've been doing that, you've got a momentum going with that. And it's not going to be nearly as easy to maintain focus on, okay, I'm going to just now think about what I desire. Think about positive thoughts. Think about what it looks like to be a healed version of you. It's possible, but it may not be sustainable. And you want something that's sustainable. And so this is where, to me, the second approach is a more analytical, emotional approach. That when you work through that, it really helps prepare you to move towards that more law of attraction, simplistic type approach I described. So what would an analytical type approach look like? Well, it would look like, and again, they're different coaches, different people are going to have different things to say about this. I'm sharing with you what I know from my experience as a coach and as a human. Okay. So what would that look like? It would look like very, very, very similar to processes for moving forward on any subject. Okay. So it would look like identifying where you are, identifying where you desire to be, taking a look at what are the steps to get you there. And when you're in that process of looking at the steps, you would look at what have I tried to help myself heal, and what's worked, what hasn't worked. Kind of give yourself a little starting place in there. And as you start to move forward in that direction and kind of explore those things, it's like those layers start to come off. And more, you're moving forward. And the more layers that come off, next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You're a different person. You're a different person. I remember years ago, was not planning on talking about this, but I'm going to say it. I remember years ago, over 20 years ago, I got married young and divorced young, and it was a lot. It was really painful. It was a lot to go through. And I hadn't been seeing a therapist at the time, and eventually I started to. And within a few sessions, I was like, okay, great. I'm doing great. I'm so glad I went and did this, and I'm doing great. I'm good to go. And I can laugh about it now. And there started to become this pattern where, within an hour before my next session, so I was doing weekly sessions, and within an hour before my next session, I was like, gosh, I don't really have anything to talk about today. Like, I think I'm good. Like, I'm done with this now. And I would ponder canceling the session. And then I'd be like, okay, no, I'll still go. I would get to the session. Within like the first 5 minutes or so, I'm bawling my eyes out again. And every time that happened, I realized, oh my goodness, there was still more. There was still more that I just hadn't realized that was in me, that was keeping me stuck, keeping me in that injured place, keeping me in the past. Right? That's what hurt and pain and all that does. It keeps in the past, which prevents us from living fully in the present and moving forward. And take a sigh of relief if you're feeling something about that. Just take a deep breath right now. It's okay. It's okay. If that resonates with you, it's okay. Everything has served a purpose. Everything has led you to where you are today. There's something to learn from everything. Okay, so let me just get back to that story. I think I was pretty much done with that. But my point was that it was just so interesting because I kept thinking that I was fully healed and really had no idea how deep the hurt went, into my subconscious, and how there were aspects to it that I didn't realize were impacting me. And eventually I got to the place where I truly was showing up at those sessions like, I don't really have much to talk about. And I really didn't. And there were no more tears. There were no more tears. I'd already released it all. So that's what I mean by layers. And I'm sure you've had your own experience of that, but I share that story in case it was helpful. That, not to make something out of nothing. If this isn't resonating with you, then bravo, amazing, right? And if it is resonating with you, then I hope you find this conversation to be a gift to you and just supporting you and finding that space of acceptance about, where you are. A lot of what this conversation today about allowing yourself to heal could also simply be summed up in choosing to say, yes, I was deeply hurt and enough is enough. I'm ready to be done with this. I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to say a bigger yes to me. You're ready to value your own well-being over what it feels like to keep going in that repetitive cycle or being in that space of having that hurt that's weighing you down, slowing you down in certain areas of your life. When you say yes to that, when you make that conscious decision, you don't even have to know how you're going to heal. That doesn't have to be your job yet. That's not it. The first step is saying enough is enough and I'm ready. I'm ready. Then I just want to say, when you make that decision, you may then have the experience of some of those emotions that were buried inside you start to bubble to the surface. And if and when that happens for you, I don't want you to go into, oh, I'm doing it wrong. No, you're doing it right. Because by saying yes, oftentimes you've got to allow yourself to feel that emotion, but it doesn't have to be as scary or as long as you might fear that it would be. You want to ground your energy you just feel it. You just go, okay, I'm feeling this right now. This is not the truth of who I am, and this is not permanent. And I choose to allow this emotion to move through me, be released. And then you want to bring in more love. Anyway, so this conversation is, look at this. I'm still in the discussion portion of today's video and could just say so much more, especially for whatever the context of your situation is, which I don't know what that is because I don't know who you are, right? Do I know who you are? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if this is resonating with you. But I'm going to go ahead and end this portion of today's conversation, and maybe I will do more on this later. But I hope this has been helpful to you, and that a lot of what I end up doing with clients is helping them to heal and release their past. So if this is resonating for you and you are looking to connect with someone who can support you in this, I just want you to know my door is always open. And so reach out to me and we can book a free 30-minute call just to chat about your situation. I just want you to know my door is always open. And so reach out to me and we can book a free 30-minute call just to chat about your situation. I provide can support you in that. There is a link down below in the description of this video where you could schedule that session. But coaching can be incredibly therapeutic and is often the feedback that I receive from clients. So just checking out my notes. Yeah, you know what? I had so much more here I could say about this, but I think we've already said a lot. So I just want to end the discussion portion of this video with, you deserve better. You deserve better. And I will always be a huge advocate for your own healing and for you getting to that better feeling place, whatever that means for you. So I hope this conversation has been supportive to you in that. And okay, we're going to have a couple of affirmations here. So if you'd like to carry forth with you some affirmations, here are a few simple ones you can apply today. Make it easier for yourself to heal with, I choose to allow myself to heal with ease and grace. With ease and grace. I choose to heal with ease and grace. The healing process doesn't have to be as heavy and scary as we may think it is. Doesn't have to be. It can have elements of that, but doesn't have to all be that. So we can choose to heal with ease and grace. You can also say, I allow myself to heal with ease and grace. I allow myself to heal with ease and grace. You could say, I now have clarity on what healing means for me. Or I now have clarity on what healing this, whatever this is for you, I now have clarity on healing this, on what that means for me. You could say, I now choose to receive more love, right? I now choose to receive more love. By now choosing love, it's like you're allowing a higher vibration to come in and support you in your healing. Okay, let's move on to pulling cards. So let's look at self-love cards. And if you're with me today, feel free to let me know if you'd like me to pull a card for you specifically, and I'd be happy to do that. Okay, let's see what card wants to come through for everyone who views today's video. What card wants to come through for everyone who views today's video? Okay. Ooh. I am not restricted by my limiting beliefs. And the back says, I am gentle. I am gentle, kind, and comforting to my inner child as we uncover and release the old negative messages from family and society. Oh, that one just like hit right there, didn't it? That is totally speaking to today's conversation. Okay, here we have another one. If I follow my inner wisdom, I am at peace with my own being. If I follow my inner wisdom, I am at peace with my own being. And the back says, I completely trust the intelligence within me to guide me to the right path. The universe supports me in every positive way. Absolutely. And we have this third one. I trust the intelligence within me. Wow. There are no problems that do not have a solution. There are no questions without answers. Well, hello. 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 Hi. I'm just saying that if your situation led you to this conversation, I don't know if we already know each other or not, but if you were led to this conversation to today, what does your inner wisdom, your guidance, your intuition telling you about your situation? And you're not restricted by any limiting beliefs. Allow yourself to be gentle. Sometimes the stuff that that happened in your family, may not have been anything that you, of course, would have chosen or played a conscious role in. And can become can lead you to develop some sort of limiting belief about what's possible for you. And yeah, just wanted to acknowledge that. I am gentle, kind, and comforting to my inner child as we uncover and release the old negative messages from family and society. Okay, let's pull a self-care card. Let's see what message wants to come through today for everybody who views today's video. Whoa. Okay, so there are two cards, and I am going to bend down and get the other one. The one that's still here, is nature. The back says, take a walk. Let the beauty of nature feed your soul. Nature is has incredibly healing effects on us as humans. So you may already know this, or maybe you're someone who has never really seen nature that way. And I say that because I know some people that don't view nature that way at all. And nature can be truly just so healing. Let me get the card that fell. Hold on. Okay, so there are two cards that fell, and look at this. One of them is listening. Listen to your wise self. Let your inner compass direct the course of your life. So this is the third message we're getting about listening and trusting yourself. Okay, the other card that fell is pleasure. And the back says, do something just for fun. Pleasure is one of life's essential nutrients. So do something just for fun. I'm laughing at myself here. Do something just for fun. What's really awesome about fun is it allows us to shake up the energy, right? If you've been in a space of feeling stuck, it allows you to shake up the energy and energetically be able to just release that stuff that was weighing you down so much more easier. Now, getting to the place where you allow yourself to have fun may not always be so easy, but it can be very helpful in your healing process. Okay, let's pull an angel card. We're going to pull a Walking with Your Angels card. Okay, I think we got one already. What is it? Okay, we are so getting repetitive messages here. Archangel Ariel says, "My child, Mother Earth is calling you to commune with her. If you are near the ocean or trees, remove your shoes and feel her bounty and beauty under your feet. Take a walk in the sand or in the woods as soon as you are able. Sit and breathe in the abundance and visual beauty she has created for you." So essentially, we have another nature card. So we have nature and intuition. Beautimous. Okay. We're going to pull 2 more cards. I know this is a lot. It's a lot. We're going to pull a postcard from Spirit. Okay, what message wants to come through for everybody who views today's video? Yeah. Okay, I'm actually just going to pull one. Okay. Okay, so the front of this says, "You are not alone." I don't know if you can read that. Dear, dear you, it might be hard to believe you'll ever get to where you want to go, feel the way you want to feel, and find peace and security, but you can. There's lots to celebrate in this life, but first you need to let go of this attachment to achieving certain results. It is easy to get caught in the endless loop of wanting this or that so you can feel safe. The only way out is to surrender the attachment. Empty yourself so you can be filled with something new. The compulsion will be lifted and peace will come. Trust that something better waits, that something new will open up, and you will see new opportunities for fulfillment. The truth is, whenever you get into the loop, what you are really looking for is spirit. That connection is where the power, the peace, and the purpose lies. Everything else follows after that. Give yourself a hug. We've got you. Loving you so, so much. So this ties right into what I was saying earlier. Empty yourself so you can be filled with something new. So emptying yourself of those emotions that are weighing you down so you can start to fill yourself up with what you actually desire and deserve. The love, the peace, the joy. Where is it here? The truth is, whenever you get into the loop, what you are really looking for is spirit. So I completely agree with that. But that's not so, may not always be so easy to see when we're in the space of hurting over something that happened in this physical human realm that we're in, right? So you can start to connect. Again, this is going to mean different things for different people. But anyway, one of the ways you can start to connect with spirit is by listening to your intuition, by listening to your higher self, right? By acknowledging the insights, the guidance that you receive, and actually acting upon that, doing something with that. The connection is where the power, the peace, and the purpose lies. Everything else follows after that. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to end with an inner peace card. Let me know what you're taking away from today's conversation. If this has been helpful for you, if you have any questions, again, so much more could be said about this, and this is going to resonate with each person in different ways, depending on what the context of your situation is. Okay, inner peace card. Let's see what message wants to come through for everybody who views today's video. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pull a second one. Hold on. Okay, I'm actually going to pull one. Okay. I feel like I have to cough all of a sudden. Sorry. Hold on.